This is where I dry flowers. It's in a walk-in closet that I really need to walk in and do other things than dry flowers. But it's a perfect spot. When you dry flowers, you need a spot that can be dark. And I want to show you, there's a light switch here. And it can be as dark as you want, as I want it to be. The door's up. When I close the door, it's pitch dark in here. But anyway, this is a bouquet that I've already dried. Bouquet of roses that I've already dried. When I dry roses or any other flower, I've tried using the silicone and the microwave method, but it's slow, it's not spontaneous, and I like spontaneous. So I quit that, and I just hang them upside down with a bit of florist wire, and then let them dry in the dark. That is that is fairy rose right there. And here is, no, that's not. That is fairy rose, right? That's not fairy rose. Those are just regular, I think, Kroger roses. But anyway, this is a fairy rose, and here's a cluster of fairy roses that I've already dried. And so I'm not sure actually, I think I could make a pretty bouquet out of those. But today's mission is to make potpourri. I have a tray of rosemary and lavender drying in here. And this is a bouquet that I got at a garden club luncheon, and I hung it. It held together forever, and I've hung it upside down. I'll show you a picture of and let it dry, and I want you to see how beautifully, no chemicals, no silicone, no microwave, just hanging upside down and let it dry. When I was a child, I've already told this story, but I would go to my grandmother's house at least 2 or 3 times a day. My grandmother was an avid gardener, and I've also said this, but maybe not on camera, but most of what I do is my effort to keep my childhood, preserve my childhood, especially my grandmother, who was such a neat, gentle, sweet, simple lady. And but when I was a child, I would walk from my house to her house, which it was only I lived right behind her. But and I'd go through her garden. I'd go through the hollyhocks first, and then when I got to the door, I would meander through the morning glories. I would meander through the poppies and the iris. She had gorgeous iris plants. She was German, and she had tons of German iris. But I would go through there, and I would just meander and enjoy everything I saw. And then when I got to the door, I felt like I had reached some kind of heavenly spot. I wrote a poem about that. I've reached the door of my grandmother's shore. But right inside that door, as you entered the kitchen, there was a closet where she dried flowers and saved seeds. And it always smelled, if I could go there right now, I bet it still smells like my grandmother. But my grandmother wore a Sunbonnet Sue sun hat, and she wore a denim jacket that she called a duster. That goes back to the Wild West days. And my grandmother wasn't really, I mean, she lived not long after the Wild West days, quite honestly. But anyway, the poem about that starts, the bonnet's at the very top, the duster's down below.